about this social media bill, please, because that's what everybody on social media is really talking about. Anyways, Nigeria's Minister of Information and Culture, Lai Mohammed, recently revealed federal government's plan to inject sanity into the nation's social media space. And following this disclosure, the Senate came up with a bill with the intention titled Protection from Internet Falsehood and Manipulation Bill 2019. The bill has already passed first reading on the floor of the upper legislative chamber. Now, we do recall that this is not the first time the government, will be talking about passing a bill to regulate the use of social media. In 2015, there was a sponsored anti-social media bill, but the bill was kicked against by many Nigerians who believes that it negates citizens' fundamental rights and would restrict freedom of expression. Now, different schools of thought have raised their concerns as regards this bill. Those who are against the bill argue that if the law is passed, the law could mean an unwarranted policing of citizens' freedom of expression, while on the other hand, those in support establish that the law will allow for censorship of libelous or defamatory material on social media. The law will make it possible for persons inciting hate or making hate speeches, online to be liable to arrest and prosecution. And also the Guild of Editors has also opposed, this social media regulation as we speak. You are a journalist, and I know journalists are having a field day with this particular bill, but where do you stand?
Well, they should not even hide under anything. They are targeting two sets of people. One, they are targeting journalists that are opposing to all these kind of people. That one is the first one. Then second one is that they have those people that are on social media to create nuisance. I agree with them. Our social media needs to be censored. I agree. But not with this kind of bill. If you read that bill from beginning to the end, you will discover that they just brought different concocted segments into it. What it means is this: there is no way you want to do this, that you are not going to guard the press, you are not going to guard the what section 39 subsection 1 of 1990 Constitution as amended in 2010 said the press freedom is going to be guarded, and there are some certain journalists and Muhammad Sani, the senator, that raised this. I was not surprised that majority of those people that enjoyed some certain things, they are the ones that will keep those things away from other people from enjoying. Look at all those people in government. Majority of them, they attended free schools now, and that was the reason why they are taking free schools away from Nigerian populace now. The same people that enjoy the same press freedom, for them to even be, they have many of them, if you know how they are getting on journalists to write articles on them, to write different things on them. In fact, they go and be begging journalists to write, let me be on here, and they want to talk to the people. And this is the same journalists that you want to use this hate speech, as I've said. These things needs to be, because anything that is going to divide us, fine, I'm always against it. But one thing there is this: there is no way this bill wants to be passed that is not going to affect the freedom of press, freedom of human beings. Because people always say freedom of press. It's not only freedom of press, freedom of individuals. And that is the thing that we really want to. This bill is a no for me. Bills on separate bills on social media and hate speech, agreed. But the one that will affect fundamental human rights of people, I will never say yes to it. It's no, and big no, and excellent no for me.
Okay, Mr. An excellent no. All right, Mr. Shopito.
I excellently agree with you.
Okay.
I think that, as usual, with our legislature and our governments in general, there's always this reflex reaction to issues of making new laws.
Yes.
First of all, there is this tendency amongst elected officials in Nigeria in particular to oppose dissent. Yes. They don't like to hear opposing views. So till tomorrow, we're busy shouting about Showore, Agbajalingo. He's still in detention. In Cross River
My
State.
dear friend Jalingo.
I mean, and the man behind this is a professor. He's a professor, well spoken. He speaks excellent English. I'm in shock to think that a man who looks so erudite, who sounds so intellectual, would not understand the value of disagreement.
Want to take over government.
The value of disagreement, that when people disagree with you, they're actually helping you to progress.
Yes.
As a leader,
you defend yourself.
Look, I hold leadership role in so many places. I hate yes men around me.
Yes.
Because I believe that they will stunt my progress. Yes. If you are not telling me when I'm going wrong, challenge me. So this government is getting this thing wrong. And now, in response to dissent, you now say you want to enact a law against hate speech. We all know that hate speech is negative. We all know that, what's the other one? Fake news is bad, right? There is enough process presently in operation today, whether legally or by policy.
We even have enough laws.
There's too many laws under which you can prosecute people that promote hate speach
or defame you
fake
or
news,
whatever,
or defame you or libel. The laws are enough. This law will die. It will not work. I'm very, very sure it will not work, because after first reading, is this second reading, and then they must do public. We're waiting for them. Public hearing. Let them come. We'll tear it to pieces. It cannot. It will not fly. Right. So I'm saying that instead of all this nonsense, right? How about you just promoting more knowledge amongst the populace to fight hate speech and fake news? Who are the people that share and spread fake news? Is it not on WhatsApp group, on Twitter? Twitter has a policy on these things. Twitter will take it down. WhatsApp has a policy. So why don't you educate Nigerians to look out for these things and teach them what process and steps they can take
to report,
to fight those things and report it.
Yeah.
End of story. What's all these useless laws that one politician can now use against me because I told him that he's a thief? If he's stealing my money, is he not a thief if he's stealing my money? I now call you a thief because you are stealing our money, and I have evidence that you are stealing my money. You now say it's a speech.
Okay.
What kind of crap is that?
All right, let me hear Chuks' angle.
I think my colleagues, they've said it all. But as usual, I have my own angle to this. The fact being that I want to start by saying that NUJ, not NUJ now, NIJ, Nigeria Institute of Journalism, if those who manage NIJ are actually, if they are thinking ahead, this is the time to design special courses for bloggers who don't have media experience but are in the media space. This is the time to educate online publishers who don't have journalism background but find themselves doing it. Okay. Because sometimes this whole thing, you find that there's also ignorance in the midst of this whole thing. So you find that you hardly find a trained journalist get involved in some of those things. It's hard because sometimes we are struggling to know what should be published and what should not be published. But nobody has educated a blogger that it's not everything that is meant to be published. That you have an information does not mean you must put it out. So you need to go through those checks again to be sure that this one is fit for broadcast, like people say in broadcast TV. So from that point, I'm now going to come down to this particular law. Like someone said here, we have to wait for the public hearing. There will be public hearing, and I know that stakeholders will come and they will interrogate whatever they are trying to do. If the motive is to stop hate speech, I'm for it. If the motive is to stop fake news, I'm for it. Because I read where somebody says there's a headline. Somebody, sometimes we write these things without thinking through it. And the thing that came to my mind is, okay, what if I flip this headline? Somebody wrote, it said, NBA, NUJ, what's the word? Rejects bill on fake news. So I said, okay, if I flip it and say NBA, NUJ supports fake news and supports hate speech. That's exactly what you're saying. So we need to know exactly what it is that we are reacting to. Okay. Because sometimes we put these things all in a basket and we react like that. But the truth is that fake news is dangerous. Very dangerous. The Rwanda genocide was fake news. So we need to be able to say, okay, it's on Facebook and all these social media, you find people say whatever comes to their mind. Okay. But they forgot that the platform you are now is a worldwide platform. You have said something that will go worldwide that is not true.
Okay.
So you have misled a lot of people and you're going to hurt some other people. So I'm not saying they should gag. Anybody trying to gag the media should just not think about it. It won't work.
And of course, like you said, fake news is actually very dangerous. But what Nigerians are saying on social media is we already have enough legislation, enough laws, enough acts that can deal with fake news and hate speech, like the Cybercrime Act of 2015 also deals with hate speech and fake news. So why do we need to make a new law? You know, that is where the concern is, because people think now that they are giving so much attention to it, there must be something they're trying to protect. But anyways, the Guild of Editors, they have warned that the proposed regulation will further worsen the country's rating in poor record of press freedom and freedom of speech, which stands at 120 out of 180 nations that have been so far surveyed. And according to statistics, Nigeria currently ranks highest in the number of internet users with over 111.6 million internet users in Africa. All right, gentlemen.
Patient, let me ask you.
10 seconds to go.
You work for a broadcast station.
Yes, I do.
Are you regulated?
Yes, we are.
I work for a newspaper company. Are we regulated?
Yes,
thoroughly.
we are
So
thoroughly.
why would somebody want to operate without regulation?
Yeah, I know that.
So what are we talking about?
Well, like I said, this has just passed the first reading. So let's.
We are waiting for them.
It is the terms,
and it's going to the way it died. The other one died in 2015.
terms and conditions that we need to look at.
We're not interested in the terms and conditions. It will die.
From Lagos, we are going to.
It will
We are
die.
going to fight. And that maybe because some of us that teaches mass communication, we know the effect what it's going to do on our students.
Okay.
It will die.
Thank you so much, gentlemen. And to cap it all this afternoon, let me read this last one coming in from Paul. And it says, "Good day in the house. I know a woman who called her granddaughter by the name Diploma. Why? Because the woman sent her daughter to high school only for her to come back with pregnancy. So after giving birth to the child, the grandma named the child Diploma." Thank you.